Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, RFL? We're back again with another installment of the RFL podcast. I'm your host, MDC, your commissioner. I want to take a few minutes of your time, man, put some things out there, give some information for the league, give some updates. We are in week 15 as of tonight, Friday night. We advanced at 9. Week 15 is kicked off and we're booming, man. 3 games left to play before the playoffs, fellas. I hope y'all ready for those in the hunt for the playoffs, and those who aren't, get your draft strategies together, because we're going to try to move this thing fast and get everybody going, for the next season after the playoffs is over with. Quick reminder, when the playoffs do start, and understand this has always been a rule, it's going to be a rule going forward, that once the playoffs start, we are on a 72-hour maximum advance schedule, which means that once the week is started in that playoff week, you have 72 hours from that time frame. So if we advance at 9 o'clock, 72 hours from then at 9 o'clock, your game has to be played. All right, we don't want to sim playoff games, fellas. We don't want to sim playoff games. And if you're out of town, you just flat out can't make it. I mean, it's life. I mean, life becomes before anything else. You got to make your money. You got to do your thing. Whatever the case may be. But, hopefully everybody can participate in the playoffs that's in it and won't have no issues, man. But understand that we are on a 72-hour advance, so we don't hold up the playoffs in the next season for weeks on end because people loafing and don't want to play their playoff games or got things going on. All of a sudden they missing. So we want to keep that in mind, man, going forward, man. But we're going to talk about a few things today. The schedule, where we're at in the playoffs. I'm going to go over the standings. I posted something in the chat. It was a quick link on YouTube on our sports channel. Gives you an overview of the predictions for season awards through week 15. Check that out. See where you guys stand, man. I mean, if you got a guy that's fighting for awards, you might want to, try to, get him over that hump. It's kind of, builds a little more competitive to the league. My guy got, 1,000 yards. He needs 1,200. It might get him, push him over that threshold. Who knows? Awards count. XP is involved as always. And this XP is definitely at a premium this year. It's not just a gimme. You can't rack up, 20K at XP just by holding on to them, throughout the season, man. It's rough out here. EA's definitely toned that down, for good and bad reasons, I think. Some of it was good, some of it was bad, but it's definitely money in these season awards. So, just to make sure people are, fight for these things, man, kind of add a flavor to the league and, add some more competitiveness to it. With that being said, man, I just want people to know that, when it comes to the league, man, I know it's rough out here, man. The EA's not making it no better. I've been going back and forth, researching a few things in my spare time and just finding out that, they just made a lot of decisions, man, kind of like, on the fly. Certain decisions were, out of their control. It came from higher up. Comes from the creative team, people that developed the game. Some of the people above them, they pay them money. Told them they wanted certain things done, and they had to conform. Just like anything, in your job, the boss say they need X, Y, and Z things done. You might groan, be grumpy about it, but you're gonna get it done because they're paying you for it. If it outside of being unethical, you're gonna do it. So end of the day, it's a business, and it is what it is when it comes to certain things they've done with this game, man. Because as people know, since the last time I did this podcast, they patched the game, which seemingly didn't have a whole lot of CFM stuff in it, but they did fix a few things that we thought it might be good, and then they seemed like the next day almost they reverted back and took the patch back and reverted back to the original problems that CFM had. So they really didn't help us at all, in my opinion. But the hell, it might have made the game worse. But we're gonna fight, man. We're gonna try to push through it. There's always been issues here and there with Madden. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that certain things are worse in certain cases. A lot of things don't make a lot of sense, especially in all Madden. We try not to get into the arcade-ish, all pro, all Madden, all arcade, all pro style of play. We always like to play on all Madden, but It's kind of ridiculous out here, man. I mean, honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, we're looking at this, just look at the numbers from leagues that I'm playing in, and it's really a run dominant game. People are being safe with it. Running the ball is less challenging than it is passing the ball. Interceptions is up. People are scared to pass the ball. Pass attempts even down because they know that a certain result's going to result. You're going to come out and you might throw 3 or 4 picks in a game. And that could be game changers. People taking it back to the house. So hey, people get trying to dumb down their play calling and kind of be more conservative. But to me, it's kind of boring. I think people are less interested in this particular iteration of Madden because it's just the way the game is coded. You want to be able to be balanced at least. Some people prefer passing, some people prefer running, but you at least want to be balanced. You don't want to be one-dimensional. I mean, one-dimensional in the football game, especially at the pro level, you're gonna get killed. Especially when it comes down to high-stakes games, playoff games, Super Bowls, you're gonna get killed. If I know going into a game that you only can run the ball, I'm just gonna load up and dare you to run the ball against my 8-9 man fronts and don't care about you passing. That's your MO. So you got to be able to be balanced. You got to be able to throw the rock as well as run the ball. And I think EA needs to do some tweaking, to make it so it's not ridiculously overpowered, and reads make sense, concepts make sense, and if it's gonna be a sim style, game, it should make sense. Certain passing concepts should beat certain coverages. I mean, that's just that simple. Certain things should beat cover 2, and certain things should beat man, certain things should beat cover 3, and it's not. I mean, flat out. I mean, I'm not a Hall of Fame, person, but I mean, I am a football coach, and I know, from my own football mind and my own perspective, week to week when I coach, I know that I call certain defenses, and I know that it's certain things that this defense is vulnerable or susceptible to, and certain things it's not. And that doesn't translate to the game, and that's a problem. And it's affecting people's gameplay, it's affecting people's interest in it. I mean, across the board. I mean, it's not just us. On Twitter and social media, people are complaining, and complaining, and they're just like, it's not fun. Then I'm sure revenue's got to be down because people are not playing or not interested in the game because it's not realistic, in a lot of aspects, and it's not, to the point where anything makes logical sense. It's really random. I mean, you could be out there throwing for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns one week, and then you could throw 6 picks the next. I mean, who wants to live like that when you have, a decent playbook? So, yeah, like I said, it's rough out here, but like we're gonna continue to fight, man. We're gonna continue to rock. I mean, we're a strong league. We've always been a strong league, and we're gonna continue to be that. And I hope that everybody sticks with us, and and just we tough it out, and we'll keep things pushing, man. We'll just we'll figure it out. We'll try to make some tweaks to the sliders. We in the front office have decided that we won't gonna make any more changes to the sliders. We're gonna ride this one out for the season. Then to come season 2, we're gonna definitely make some changes. Hopefully for the better. And try to make the game as fun as possible. Because I guarantee you another patch is coming. They won't. All the complaining that's been going on, they have to listen to it. They didn't patch the game twice in 30 days, and it still ain't right. So I'm assuming another patch will come out at some point. We just gotta make do until then. I mean, it's funny because the time I said this last podcast, the patch came out the very next day. No lie, I dropped the podcast that morning. The patch came out that afternoon. It was wild. So hope. I doubt they'll drop a patch on Saturday because I'm recording this on a Friday. But if it comes out Monday, I'm almost prophetic in that situation. But it is what it is. I mean, you got to fight through it. I mean, try to make the game as as enjoyable as possible. Make it as competitive as possible, and hope people have fun with it, man, and stick around. Get into a few things today, man. Just some quick notes. I'm trying not to hold y'all too long. I'm not gonna go too long with the podcast, but just want to go over the schedule, and like I said, we're in week 15. We discussed the patches, playoff standings, and predictions for the playoffs going forward, and who might take it this year. I sent out a link to the video for prediction for awards, so check that out. It's on our sports channel, so if you missed a link in the chat, go to Renegade Sports 1, and it'll be on that site. It'll be posted, so you can look it up at any time on YouTube. First off, let's get into these standings real quick. Like I said, we're in week 15. Um, some people have, you know, kind of started off high, fizzled off, and some people have, kind of been, fizzling early, but they kind of, caught their stride a little bit. So, let's look at these standings real quick, man. Let's start with the NFC this time. We started with the AFC last time. Let's start with the NFC this time. Looks like my man Philly Rail with the Eagles is 10-3. Impressive. Him and I typically, slow learners when it comes to the first season a lot of times because we do coach, work full time, we coach. So, had time as much time to spend on the game, but he tend to be holding it down. He's 10-3 in the NFC East right now, followed by my man 5 with 9-4, the Giants. We got the now CPU Cowboys at 8-5, and we got D Nice with the Redskins at 7-6. I guess D Nice, man, you might want to get on and play in them games, brother. I mean, we got 3 games left. The playoff is looking a little bleak for you, man. I know you haven't been playing as much, school or whatever, but if you want to make the playoffs in this league, bro, you might want to get on it. In the NFC North, we got the Chicago Bears at 10-3. Tyler's been doing pretty well, pretty consistent over the whole, course of the season. So he's leading the division right now by 2 games, followed by KT, who's 8-5. Actually, KT and Akeem are actually tied with by 8-5. Dead Heat in second place in the division, with the Marquez-led Lions, who he claims he hates, but he keeps rocking with us, and I appreciate him holding it down. With the Lions at 2-11. All right, on to the NFC South. We got the Atlanta Falcons, which my man Oscar, with 11-2. He seemed to be consistently winning games the whole entire season 1, man. The team is talented, and I think he's benefiting from that. A guy can play, man. He's never been no slouch. So I think that he's been handling his business pretty well. So he's leading the division almost. I think he pretty much wrapped it up. He's got a 4-game lead over the Jalen-led Carolina Panthers, who are 7-6. We got the Fro-led Tampa Bay Bucks at 5-8, and then we got the New Orleans Saints at 1-12. Going to the NFC West, man, this is tough out here, man. It's rough. You got the Arizona Cardinals. Our new user with the Cardinals, he's 6-7. He's tied with Grove at 6-7. They're in a dead heat for the division. You got the Mike Tyke-led Rams at 4-9, and the nice Mike Seahawks at 1-12. Over to the AFC. We start with the East. The New England Patriots, led by Phil. They're 12-1. He looks like he's been pretty consistent with those Tom Brady-led Patriots all season. He's 12-1. Looks like he got the division wrapped up. I kind of butchered the man's name last time because I thought I saw it differently in the league, but it's Skyo with the Buffalo Bills. He's 8-5. He's been kind of up and down. I don't know if he's been in and out, but he looks like he can kind of fight in there for a wild card if he's lucky. Got to win out probably to hold that down, but yeah, he's 8-5. We got the Devin-led Dolphins at 6-7. At this point, he's probably on the outside looking in, man, but anything's possible with 3 games left. I'll get into the seedings in a minute. Go over to the North. We got a statistical tie with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns. The 2 commissioners, myself and Vince, are tied 8-5. The newly joined Cincinnati Bengals with Toon Days 4-9, and the Baltimore Ravens with the CPU at 3-10. Over to the AFC South, the Jaguars, led by Joe, pretty consistent as well all year. He's 12-1. The Indianapolis Colts, which I believe are the CPU, 8-5. They still fighting as a CPU team. Houston Texans, led by Rashad, are 7-6. And the Tennessee Titans, led by Travis, are 4-9. On to the AFC West. And it's been a complete turnover in this league, to be honest with you, this particular division. Bobby's Chiefs started out, I want to say like 1-0-4, 1-5 or something like that. Have turned it around and now 9-4. The Chargers are 7-6, and the Oakland Raiders, who led the division earlier, now floundering at 5-8. Their season might be done at this point. 5-8 is looking real rough. And the Ming-led Broncos are 4-9. Now, the playoffs will start today. The Jags in the AFC and the Patriots in the AFC will be the 1 and 2 seeds statistically, with the Jags having one more conference win, so that gave them the 1 seed at this point. The 3 seed will be the Chiefs. The 4 seed by conference division record, it will be the Steelers. The wild cards will be the Bills and the Browns. On the outside looking in are the CPU Colts and the Chargers at 7-6. The Chargers only 1 game out. So it's really tight. I mean, 1 or 2 losses in the next 2-3 weeks, could have the Steelers, Browns, or the Bills sitting at home, and the Chargers could sneak in as well as the Texans could sneak in. So it's anybody's ball game. NFC picture at this point: the Falcons and the Bears are 1 and 2 seed. The Eagles are the 3 seed. The Cardinals are the 4 seed. The Giants are the 5 seed, and the Cowboys are the 6 seed at the CPU. Keem's on the outside looking in along with KT with both 8 and 5. That could change. And with the CPU team, like I said, the CPU has been tweaked, so if people start beating the Cowboys, that could change that dynamic with the Packers and the Vikings hanging on right outside the door on the bubble with 8 and 5. And even the Redskins, man, they only got 1 game out. So, I mean, with 3 games to play, that 6 seed isn't locked up, man. So we got to fight that out. Even the Panthers are up there too. They're 7-6, so 1 or 2 game loss here. If you go on the losing streak at the end, you could be sitting home. Man, so it's tight. It's tight, man. I mean, both outside of the 1 and 2 seed, I think the 3, 4, and 5 and 6 seed are definitely up for grabs. We got, and like I said, it's 3 games to play. So we want to keep that spirit going, man. And keep fighting. Make sure everybody that want to be in the playoffs again be in the playoffs. Want to give a quick shout out to our Twitter account, RFL League, at RFL League on Twitter. We post weekly updates. We post players of the week and anything media related. This podcast will be up there, as well as the season outlook on the predictions for the awards. So check that out. Make sure you follow and turn your notifications on for that. Next up, want to go quickly over, take a quick look at these awards, man. Looking at who's in line to pick up these awards, man, and take a quick peek at that and find out where we might stand if the season were to end today, and get an idea who might be running away with these particular awards. All right, want to load this up here. All right, so starting with the NFL MVP award, we're looking at Brandon Graham has been leading it all year. Honestly, he's been leading it all year. He's a leader for the MVP voting with the Eagles who are 10-3. Followed by Kareem Hunt behind him, as Kareem Hunt's made some strides. He went from obscurity and took the job from the backfield from Spencer Williams, been running the ball. So he's in second place right now for the MVP vote. Looking at Coach of the Year, looks like Joe right now, along with Phil, are the leaders for Coach of the Year. On to the AFC. The Offensive Player of the Year, first place person right now is LaShawn McCoy, followed by Kareem Hunt, then Melvin Gordon. Like I said, fellas, it's a running league. You even got Isaiah Crowell and Jay Ajayi and Le'Veon Bell, and he has the top 6 people. It's like I said, people been running the ball, man. It's real tough passing out here right now. We're gonna try to remedy that and make a more balanced game. I mean, who wants to play a 24 to 20, 30-minute game, hour total in real time game when you can't do nothing but run the ball? I mean, it's really tough, man. I know there's nothing wrong with running the ball. Don't get me wrong, but I just think people will like to pass and want to pass and want to be able to pass when it comes down to that. So it's indicative of what the awards are pointing to, that people are running the ball. That's the bottom line. Is what I'm getting at. So I think we need to make some changes, man, and hopefully we can make a more balanced game. But it is what it is for this season. So shouts out to them fellas, for running the ball well and fighting for these awards, man. So we're gonna get into this next category. Defensive Player of the Year. The lead leader right now is J.J. Watt, followed by Joey Bosa. The Sack Kings are getting the job done, followed by Calais Campbell and Myles Garrett, the rookie. Those are your top 4 who's fighting for Defensive Player of the Year right now in the AFC. Could be anybody's ball game. How these next 3 games check out. Barring any injuries or anything like that. It look like it's gonna be a pass rusher who's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year. Shouts out to them. Like I said, some XP involved in that, and be a good boost for your player if you do win that award. Next up will be Offensive Rookie of the Year, and his name has been mentioned before. We're talking about Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's leading that category right now. He's made some good strides in the last few weeks. Won some Players of the Week. He's been featured on Twitter, and he's followed by Leonard Fournette. So they're fighting for their Rookie of the Year honors. John Ross is in here. The Bengals wide receiver, and Corey Davis. Fifth, Juju Smith-Schuster. Number 5. So we got some receivers in here fighting for it as well. David Njoku, number 6, is tight end. Overall, it's pretty balanced in this regard, as far as rookies are concerned. So the rookies are definitely getting some passes, but the top 2 are the running backs right now. Going to Defensive Rookie of the Year, the number 1 overall pick, Myles Garrett. He's leading the votes right now, and a user on the Chiefs, actually 2 users on the Chiefs who I'm not familiar with. They were the top draft picks. But Bobby has some guys playing well, and he's got 2 people that's fighting for Defensive Rookie of the Year right behind Myles Garrett. Next up, we've got, I believe it's best quarterback. Yes, best quarterback, led by Tom Brady. And this is an interesting category because we've been going back and forth about how passing is different. But right now, we got Tom Brady and Andy Dalton, has been CPU-led and Tunde led. He's second in the vote getting, along with Blake Bortles, and coming up with number 4, Ben Roethlisberger, and Andrew Luck, and Deshaun Watson in number 6. Best running back, again, Kareem Hunt. He's trying to run away with everything. Looks like MVP's in the conversation. He's in conversation of Rookie of the Year, conversation of best running back, Offensive Player of the Year as well. Melvin Gordon's followed by at number 2, LaShawn McCoy at number 3, and Isaiah Crowell number 4. Best wide receiver is Philip Dorsett, leading the league right now in votes, along with A.J. Green. Number 3 is Allen Robinson, and then Antonio Brown and Martavis Bryant, the tandem of Steelers, are 4 and 5. Dante Moncrief, number 6, is by the CPU Colts. Colts is balling out here, man. You better watch him. Best O-lineman, Joe Thomas from the Browns, the leading vote getter, followed by David DeCastro and Nate Solder. Best D lineman, J.J. Watt, Joey Bosa, Myles Garrett, and Alan Branch in the top 4. Jordan Evans, that's who the guy is from the Chiefs. Jordan Evans, linebacker. He's fighting for best linebacker along with his counterpart from the Chiefs. And then we got the Bills, looks like it's C.O. Moore, and then the Patriots, David Harris. Best defensive back. This ought to be interesting. We've got Trey Boston from the Chargers leading the category at this particular point in time, followed by the timeless wonder William Gay. Rashad Jones number 3 and Malcolm Butler number 4. Best kicker. Not that we really care too much about this, but Jason Myers leading the category, and then Steve Gostkowski behind him. On to the NFC. The now CPU-led Cowboys with Ezekiel Elliott leading the Offensive Player of the Year voting, followed by Jordan Howard and then Carlos Hyde. Which, early rumor going through the league is that Carlos Hyde is actually hurt, so he may drop. Christian McCaffrey's behind him along with Ty Montgomery. Defensive Player of the Year for the NFC. We've got Brandon Graham popping in again, trying to get another award on top of his MVP status. And he's leading that league. I think he's been leading all year, to be honest. He's been leading that particular category, and amongst others, for the whole entire season, man. So he's been balling. Jason Pierre-Paul is behind him, along with Adrian Amos and Leonard Floyd from the Bears. Next up, Offensive Rookie of the Year for the NFC, you got Christian McCaffrey, P. Ryan from the Redskins, Trubisky, and then Dalvin Cook. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we've got Akilio Witherspoon from the 49ers, along with Solomon Thomas and Ruben Foster. How about 3 49ers? The young 49ers have got 3 people in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Followed by Derek Barnett from the Eagles at number 4. Best quarterback in the NFC, Dak Prescott by the CPU Cowboys again. Followed by Kirk Cousins with the Redskins. Then we got Matt Ryan from the Falcons. Then followed up by Carson Wentz and Mitchell Trubisky. Best running back for the NFC, Ezekiel Elliott. Pop it up again. Jordan Howard, number 2. Ty Montgomery, number 3. And looks like LeGarrette Blount, number 4. The injured Carlos Hyde, number 5. Best wide receiver for the NFC. We've got Jordy Nelson, number 1. We got Julio Jones at number 2, Cameron Meredith number 3, and Odell Beckham at number 4. Dez Bryant's bringing up the rear, number 5, for best wide receiver for the Cowboys. We've got best O-lineman for the NFC. This is interesting. Well, it's not far-fetched at all, honestly. You've got 3 Cowboys in the top 5. Zach Martin's leading the voting, along with Alex Mack at number 2 for the Falcons. Then followed by Tyron Smith and then Travis Frederick. Trent Williams is number 5, and then Lane Johnson is number 6. So, quick pro tip about this situation: that if your guy is in the top 6 or 7, he's likely to get a Pro Bowl bid as well. But you didn't hear that from me. Moving on, man. We're going best D lineman in the NFC. We got Brandon Graham yet again. Brandon Graham might go down in history as being the top war to get in the RFL. He might walk away with 4 or 5 of these things, man, if y'all don't stop him or block him at some point in this season. Then we got Jason Pierre-Paul following up with DeMarcus Lawrence and Cliff Averill in the top 4, and Solomon Thomas number 5. Best linebacker for the NFC, Clay Matthews for the Packers, followed by Jalen Smith, and then Leonard Floyd and Zach Brown. Alec Ogletree is number 5. Next up, best defensive back, Adrian Amos from the Bears, followed by HaHa Clinton Dix and Jimmy Ward. And Eric Reed. The 49ers have got both their starting safeties in the running for best defensive back in the league. They must be picking up a lot of passes back there, or doing something, because they are definitely in the running for getting the award. And something, if Amos and Clinton Dix fall off in the next 3 weeks, they could be in there. And finally, the best kicker for the NFC would be Blair Walsh, followed by Robbie Gould and Kyle Forbath. All right, man, that's going to wrap up the awards for this particular cycle. I'm going to try to post again the awards for the year once they come out, once they drop after week 17, so people will know exactly who they got. Put it out on Twitter and everything like that, so it'll be up there for social media to view. And so people will know exactly where the awards went to, man, and who got the XP. And who can, make their players better, Especially those young kids, those rookies, man. They'll get those awards, man. It could definitely change their whole career around as far as how good they will be. Up some development or whatever you need to do, and they could be some ballers come, year 2 and 3. Next, man, I just want to put a quick note out there, man. If anybody does graphics in the league, we're looking to get some more logos and some more media for the league, man. So if you do graphic design, hit me up. Let me know if you can do some logos or some design for us. We want to revamp the league a little bit and put some new things out there, man. We got a couple of ideas we want to put on paper, but none of us in the office are actually, really capable in that. So, we want to know if anybody in the league willing to help us out as far as that is concerned, and get that going, man. And so if you got that type of expertise and you got some time, let me know, and we can get that rolling. Next time, or going forward, man, and if you want to be a guest on the show. Because when football season ramps down for me, I'm trying to do this a little more regularly, man. It's a little more doing, normal business hours. So if you if you want to come on the show, man, and you be a guest host, answer a few questions and tell me how you feel about the league, let me know. I can dial you in, and we can get some audio on you, and we have a guest speaker or two. Get some different feedback on how the league is running, what can be different about the league, and so we can, add some more flavor to this. I know you don't mind, but I don't want to be on the more talking if people got things to say. So if you want to be a guest on the show, let me know, man, and we'll try to work that out. Overall, man, I think we're doing pretty good, man. Like I said, we got 3 weeks to the playoffs, man, which is still I think we'll be kicking up the playoffs round. So week 16 will start on Monday, 17 will start on Wednesday. So by next Friday, the playoffs will be starting, so we got a week. We got a week before the playoffs start. And we definitely get this thing going, man. And get those streams going, man, for the playoffs, man. We definitely want to see it. We want to put it out on social media. We want to get people to view our channels and see our league and see our gameplay. I try to tweet out as much as I can with people, do live streams. So definitely for the playoffs, man, load them streams up, man, so we can get the league going and let them people see our brand. And kind of get some feedback on and maybe get some following as far as this league is concerned. Pretty much though, I'm going to probably wrap this up and let y'all get out of here. But I appreciate y'all sticking with us and fighting through this madness that is Madden right now. And hopefully we can make things better going forward in the season 2. And when this next patch comes out, hopefully it'll be for the better, and it'll make the game even more better, more enjoyable for everybody, man. And everybody have a good time. As always, man, I'm your host, NBC, your commissioner. Thank you for tuning in to Commissioner's Corner podcast. And, y'all be good. And as always, if you got any questions or concerns, hit us up in the chat, add us or whatever, DM us and let us know, what's going on with you. If you got any problems or concerns, we're going to be awake, so we can kind of keep the league moving, as smoothly as possible. But as always, man, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And, thank y'all for being here, listen to the podcast. And, until next time, man, y'all be easy. Peace.